Hey, just don't touch my stuff, Francis.
All right, well, I'll hit start. I'll count to 3.
1, 2, 3. Hold it. All right? Not now. Turn around, okay? Yeah. Let me see you in that leather. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
This shows above that. Don't work, Blue.
I was doing my day job as a
Baby
as a
photographer?
Yeah, and it developed into this. Okay, and if you take a picture of me naked, please have it enlarged.
Kensil Culture, puppets, props, puns, podcasts.
Have an 8x10. Look, I actually wore a
Camera tie.
Camera tie. No Leica. Okay, right there. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, don't get Polaroid. No. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now, we're about to start our newest edition of Kensil Culture, the pop culture magazine. And here he is, our namesake and numbnuts. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice hand for the very funny Mr. John Kensil.
Hey, people. My mother's maiden name was Numbnuts. John Kensil here, and this is Legendary Wid. Another episode of Kensil Culture. We talk about everything, movies, magic, of comedy and music, and more comedy and more music and wacky comedy stuff. But, Wid, I would like to do a segment on the show called I Don't Believe That Hollywood Rumor. Okay.
Can we have a song for that? Like,
right?
I don't believe that Hollywood rumor.
What's the old comment? The biggest trick the devil ever played was make people think he's not real. Right.
Okay.
All right. There you go. Right
there. No, I'm not, that's not me. No, I'm not. That's gaslighting, John. Okay, you don't want gaslighting in hell. It's going to cause an explosion.
This is true.
But Mark Twain said, "If I can't curse in heaven, send me to hell." So
there's stories. One of the biggest jokes is that Hollywood are magical, special people.
I'll fit right in.
But people will defend it going, well, people were poor to go to movies. They'd be taken away to the magical land of goodness and everything. That's only that's them saying that. And the more you hear something, you start believing it. It's just entertainment. It's just watching a movie. It's obviously like reading a book that makes you happy. But to act like so they would create these stories about Hollywood, how people, in the Depression, they watch a film reel, the newsreel. Oh, coming up, here's Clark Gable in his speedboat, and here's Fred Astaire with his truck nuts, right? And here's Charles Lawton in his banana hammock. Like, anyway, as if they're magical people better than us. Anyway, so it would tell
They were stars, John. They were better than us. They were up on the screen. Yeah, they didn't have computers. See, if you overanalyze anything, and I think that people overanalyze a lot what Hollywood was, and now you can see the real behind the scenes. Well, and we know that the real behind the scenes were also there back in the day, the 30s. But people were mystified by movies. You know how much before the Depression, how many people went to the movies? I mean, millions.
And they start off look at the little wind-up things on the boardwalk. They look
at
the little,
Nickelodeons.
It's Nickelodeons because they saw the whole thing grow. So
exactly, and it was a little more mysterious. All you had to take is that limited media that was out there at the time. We didn't have a computer, John, to see funky tomatoes or or IBM and W.
But it is nice to believe in the magicalness of the but it's all fantasy. But
that's it.
But it's drilled in our head that they make me happy, so therefore they're great and good. But it's weird though too. Like other scandals, like the Fatty Arbuckle scandal, and other people ODing and dying back then.
I know all those scandals, John. I studied that for years and years.
And then I
still do.
Then bad people would dwell on that Hollywood scandal, Hollywood Babylon. Well, With that, we could do a weekly podcast about the BS that went on back then. But my point was, they would make up stories to enhance a movie or an actor or an actress. They'd say like, oh, so-and-so was having a milkshake at Schwab's, what do you call it?
Drugstore.
Right? And
on Hollywood and Vine.
I mean, she was just there with her friends. She was doing her school homework, and somebody famous walked by and goes, you should be in the movie, honey. Right? Almost all those stories are lies.
They said they saw Lana Turner sitting at the counter, sipping on a soda in a tight sweater. Yeah. Hence her name, the Sweater Girl.
Yeah,
and Lana Turner, and she says that never happened.
Yeah, a lot. But you hear a lot of stories like that, and you find out other things that I. But yes.
Lana Turner also said that she didn't kill Johnny Stompanato, okay?
Right.
The boyfriend that she was going out with who worked for Cone of Columbia Pictures and was,
Yep. I went out with Lana Turner's sister.
Yeah? You went out with Lana Turner's sister? Wow.
Yeah, Stomach Turner. But
just like that joke.
Yeah, but these stories are like it's also too. Even I'm like a sourpuss, but it's very interesting too. It's very interesting, and you find out they had guys who would cover for them. Those detectives who would pay people off to make stories go away, or if a story.
It was a much more innocent time, and it was controlled by a lot less people. Okay, it was controlled by the studio heads.
And you're right. You find out if an actress found out she was in the motherly way, she'd like go away for a year to go sell war bonds, but really she's going to have a baby out of wedlock.
A blessed event.
Yeah, blessed event. Or but stories like that. But anyway, that stuff is just interesting covering up, or how you could never be an unmarried mother, even though America probably have a ton of them. But stuff like that's very interesting. But I always found it was neat when they would make stories about a film to enhance the likableness of it. Like, oh my God, did you know? Right? Well, the one was The Wizard of Oz. All right, there's a famous...
Come out wherever you are and greet the young maiden that fell from a star.
Well, there's a famous story about the movie when the...
a couple of famous stories about that movie.
Well, the ones I don't believe was one that was... then I found it wasn't true anyway. One was that when the wizard... The wizard, who rang that bell? Yeah, that guy. What's his name? Who played the wizard?
Frank Morgan. He played five different parts in The Wizard of Oz.
He played the uncle and stuff like that. Well, the story.
And he even got down on his knees and played one of the Munchkins.
Yeah,
okay.
Well,
Munchkins. It sounds like a lunch.
Well, the enhancing story, a tinge of nostalgia, right? So they were looking through for the wardrobe for his character as the wizard. It's like a long brown overcoat. Well, they said, we got him an overcoat. And it turns out inside the overcoat on the label said L. Frank Baum. Well, he's the guy who wrote The Wizard of Oz in 1907, right? And like, imagine that coincidence. You know, we picked a suit jacket out, and he was wearing. Well, I've seen that story online.
That smells a publicity stunt.
Someone said
easy publicity stunt.
Totally made up story, because plus it's a story that doesn't hurt anybody at the time it came out.
Yeah,
but totally made up, not true. But it sounds good. It's
that's what people are still doing it today. You can see it blatantly in politics as well as Hollywood.
Like, and you know what's neat too is because it's red meat to the masses when you're looking on your phone or the internet. Like you always see stories about that Zaftig Rubenesque Australian actress Rebel Wilson.
Okay,
she's funny in her movies, right? Well, she's a little bit portly. Well, she always has she'll take a picture of her in a bikini, and it'll say, "I have a message to you fat shamers out there. I like who I am." Next thing you know, you see a headline that says, "Chubby actress is she's not ashamed of her body." When nobody is fat shaming her, nobody. But the story has she's a strong woman, and she inspires other fat girls to go out and wear string bikinis. Right?
The publicity mill is called that just for a reason. It's because you put these cute little twists on stories, but you don't defame or slander anybody.
Yes.
And yet they're cute little stories of, we got into a tussle with a homeless guy, or he gave $150 to a homeless guy for, or tipped a waitress. And these are just things that your publicity agent does.
You always say that too, like, so-and-so broke up a fight. Another one too is like an actor comes out of the closet, and their first line is, I always want to inspire any other people who are afraid to do it. No one cares anymore. You're
Right.
gay. You're gay today is like you're left-handed. I'm not saying anything anti-gay. Just like, all right, we all accept. The story about the Wizard of Oz was that there's a famous story that
Frank Morgan didn't come out as gay, did he?
no, but Judy Garland, they made the story of her being a victim of the evil studios.
I kind of believe that in a way that that she had to do those pills. You could see that the pills were given to him, especially at the end of a couple of Mickey Rooney and with her. They look like they're tweaking.
Oh yeah. Well, they're dancing for 12 hours for scenes. I'm not denying that, but the story was that she was.
She was called a little hunchback.
Yeah, they made her dye her hair. They made her smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Drink.
They gave her
coffee
fake
and Pepto,
teeth up front,
right?
which I need.
But but I've read a couple of things about it saying she was doing those things before she made the Wizard of Oz. Her mom was what do you call it, the showbiz mom?
A stage mother.
And isn't her last name? Their last name is Gump, isn't it?
Yeah, it was Gump, and they lived up in Gump, the Gump sisters.
Yeah,
and. Georgie Jessel got her to change her name to Garland.
Yes.
And they were up, and their father owned
little dance
he owned movies theaters, okay, and would put them on everything. But they had to move from town to town because of some rumors of him diddling
little young boys.
So they got moved around, and they said that sort of.
She came from a screwed up background, a domineering mom, but her dad was got. And that was a big scandal back in that time period. But my point was that the Hollywood shoot up and spit her out. And maybe her mom may have forced her to know because her mom was like saw her being a star and saw her. Right. But there's also too is like there is accountability on her. Like it's always like I read the biography of Whitney Houston.
Right.
You think in your mind that she was the lovey-dovey, I want to dance with somebody, and love. And then so she met Bobby Brown, and they turned her a big druggie. The 2 biographies I read on her, that was all fake studio image. She was partying before she met Bobby Brown. But I just thought it was... but the other thing I thought was interesting, all right, in The Wizard of Oz...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to bring up. When they all... don't they all assemble to fight the witch? So they all get...
Oh, the Wicked Witch, played by Margaret Hamilton, who they said did it too much. And she slowed down production because she was actually burnt when she... Oh, I'm melting! That's why you should recycle your plastic.
You know what's funny, too? When she first encounters Dorothy... Right, I'll get you, my pretty, and you look at you.
Surrender, Dorothy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh well. The very first time she disappears in a puff of green smoke, and then brown smoke comes up. That's the first time she appears when she got injured.
Right.
A trap door sank down below the floor. Then the smoke grenades went off and burned her, and she was out for like 6 weeks. She got burned up
and slowed down production.
Well, we just mentioned Surrender Dorothy. There's a scene in the movie too where they go, "Oh, look, there's the witch flying around on her broom," and the witch spells out like air
Surrender Dorothy.
Right? Well, that was Margaret Hamilton's stunt double, another woman stunt woman, right?
Yeah.
Well, the broom she was flying around had like
witch.
But it had flames and stuff in it too, right? Well, it burned the stunt woman's lady area, and she had to be hospitalized because her lady area got burned because she was sitting on a hot lady thing. Sorry, I know that you didn't expect that to come up, but that's...
I'm not going to... Well, anyway, and how about they thought they saw a dead body?
That's obviously fake, though. I did see that, though.
That had been fake. It was a dummy that you dance with, and and for rehearsal, and somebody left it over a fence.
But exactly right. Yeah, you always show like they said a munchkin hung himself. right? But
did you know that the monkeys in the original book were supposed to represent Native Americans?
yes,
you know,
there's so many stuff
I
in there.
thought that was like,
Well, the Sam Shine Wood right now, I think it's when they go to fight back against the witch. It's Dorothy leading the lion, the Tin Man, right? Well, the Tin Man has a big metal pot. The what's he have here? A hammer? What's the lion have? Some kind of stick?
yeah,
What?
it looks like an axe. Or a
Yeah,
stick.
yeah. Well, somehow the Scarecrow has a gun, a handgun.
Come out,
Right.
come out with your hands up. Okay.
And someone said, oh my God, someone said, where'd he get that gun? And he said someone wrote he melted the gun from the Tin Man's ass. Right? Someone said he borrowed the gun from Buddy Hackett. Right? Go look at him. Look at the Scarecrow. He's a walking, talking, dancing, singing craft store project. Right? But they
Coming out of Michael's.
Someone said, "Where do you get the gun?" And someone said, "Chico Marx sold it to him." Right? But it's
Chico used to play the piano.
well, somebody made a documentary on it. It was just very interesting. It made me laugh because I never where the hell did he get a gun at? And
Yeah, I mean, you know, you could suspend your imagination and believe that there's a land of Oz, and you can, you know, the Emerald City and all that stuff. But you know, how do you get a gun?
well, here it is too. The lion had a spray can like insect.
Oh, okay, like a flit.
But it said witch remover on it. All right. And he also had a pole with a net on it.
His outfit was actually made out of lion skin.
Yes, it was, and everything was bad.
They just did $1 million,
Restoration of it,
refurbishing. Restaurate.
But I just thought that stuff
They
was
fixed it up.
That stuff's interesting, and that's what something else I told you about that too. Is like that they restored that outfit because it's made from actual lion fur, and they have it somewhere in a museum. But like I saw recently, about 3 months ago, they were selling Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher's white gown she wore when she's in, right, and a starting bid was $200,000, and no one did it. Right, and I'm thinking, you think, all right, some people do have expensive money. You can just spend your money the way you want, but really, it's a fake movie. She wasn't really that. And they go, oh no, but she wore it. Big deal. You're going to put it on a mannequin.
Oh yeah, you have to. It has to be seen on screen. It can't be just an extra one or anything like that.
No,
I kind of admire. You know, I'm a collector myself, so I kind of, if I had deep pockets, maybe I would buy. I wouldn't buy Princess Leia. I'd rather buy the ruby slippers that Steven Spielberg supposedly had.
Well, you're right. It's weird too. Now, I look at you couldn't give that money to like a children's hospital or a cancer charity, but a lot of times when you see them go for auction, the money goes to them, right?
Yeah.
Like last week, Freddie Mercury's piano went for $2.1 million, right? I'm thinking, big deal. You're going to walk in the house and go, Freddie Mercury composed that. Like, wow, right?
Wow.
It's like, oh, look, I have Benny Hill's
different
keychain.
tune.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But who cares if it's somebody owned it? When money could go to more important things.
Well,
like
if somebody
charities,
sold your
babies.
piano, John, they would only get like $1,000.
You know what? Because I'm very upright.
You are upright, John. And in The Wizard of Oz, okay, this is what I heard. I heard that the whole Oz is supposed to be President McKinley, okay, that it's a political thing. The Cowardly Lion is,
right.
Okay, the Cowardly Lion is England. England has always been represented by a lion. The Scarecrow is the American farmer.
Right.
Okay, and the Tin Man is the industrious East, okay, that had all the factories. And the yellow brick road is that's the gold standard that they were trying to change from giving gold to giving silver instead. So it's actually a hidden political novel.
Yes, that stuff's that's neat. You hear the different interpretations of it too, because that was a major theme going on.
And the ruby slippers were actually silver.
Yes, this is true. And on that super high note,
hey, over the rainbow almost didn't make it, but you guys made it, and we thank you right here. And we want you to hit that subscription, okay, and ring that bell.
Tell your friends.
For myself and Mr. John Kensil, this has been Kensil Culture, a pop culture magazine.